Right. Okay. How are you? Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome to iPod Official Trader Streams. I hope you guys are doing good. So, on this specific analysis, right, on gold, I just want us to basically just look at the current market, and then we can jump on to something that I want us to talk about right here, which is I just want us to talk about Euro USD. So if you quietly look at the current price market on gold from the analysis that we got in the morning, so let me just do this. Archive and then get into the trading chart. So I want us to look at the markets in this term. I want us to just look at what is exactly going on at this point. If you look at the setup that was shared on gold in the morning, right? If you take a look at gold currently, right, and you can definitely or quietly see that in the morning we were actually looking at gold buy, right? Because first of all, the daily bias on gold is still it still is bullish, right? So in the morning what we did was we took an advantage of the buys in the morning, right? I personally made about 700, if not, let me just do this. So we took advantage of that buy in the morning. You guys are gonna see things now here. Let me just do this quickly. Let me do this just quickly. Right, if you can take a look at how much I made out of this, or this was when I closed the partials, you can see this were the buys that I took in the morning, right? So on those buys I made about like $700 out of that trade. But what I want you to focus on was the first buy that we took, right? If you go and watch the previous stream as well, you're gonna see why we were actually went in on that buy, right? So first of all, I had actually doubted that price would actually give us a drop, and then what I was actually looking at first was a continuation of price to the upside by only just merely focusing on Fibonacci retracements and extensions, right? And then we saw that actually price was doing what? Before we can even actually focus on this part, we should just focus on this current price right here, right? And looking at how price was actually moving here, we considered this as a retracement because we had a weak high right here. As from in the morning, I did explain why did we consider this part as a weak high, and we were actually just looking at price coming back to push above it because it was weak. Obviously, if it's a weak high, we would definitely look forward for price actually coming to break above it. If ever it was supposed to give us like long-term sells, then we had to actually just break above that price. But to be quite honest, I currently or rather even after I tried to check right? I tried to check what could have actually led to this current sell right here, but I couldn't find any reason, any any technical reason for the sell of how I trade. I can't even speculate why did it drop. Even if I try to show you why did it drop, could I have gotten the sell? It would have been too risky, because where could I have actually exited? I wouldn't have actually had a price to take out uh, those cells, as in, like, even if I had to take the sell, it means I would have just taken it out of an entry, but I wouldn't have gotten an exit out of the trade. So I didn't even want to force myself to try and just explain what happened here. But honestly, from the VIP, after, I think, when price has actually pushed above here, I did mention that we should actually close our partials. You can see right there, I did mention to them, let's take partials, because I wasn't too sure how far will gold go. So that's why we took some partials when price, I think it was around, right, somewhere around here. We just closed some partials, and then the other trades that were left, we locked profits above entry. Anyone could have actually had their own entries above price, but then price did come back and just dropped even further. Then when price did fall after that, I saw that the price is still what the price is definitely still going to push to the upside, right? Because one thing I always mention is that if gold leaves um, weak highs, it will always come back and break above those highs. Because if gold does want to actually drop or give us any specific long-term drops, it doesn't need to give us weak highs. So basically, this is not just even one high, but rather it is definite a weak high. So it's not even a high according to how I trade, but it was considered a weak price. Most people can consider it as a resistance, but this was definitely a weak one. So obviously, it means that even this drop was considered to be part of like a retracement, which was going to be a pullback again to push price even further up, because the extension still held as a as a target, right? But then in this case, price just came back below. After it actually came back below, I just needed to identify the confirmations as to, like, is it still a retracement or not. And then obviously under 15 minutes time frame, I'm just going to show you, it confirms from this price, it confirms as it rejects. So there's two candlesticks, the last selling and the first buying candlestick just gave the confirmation of the buys right there, which were actually a form of a confirmation of a retracement. Because I told you, even if there is any type of retracement, it doesn't mean that you need to exactly launch in trades whenever you see a retracement, but only after you see a confirmation. So the only confirmations came about here, hence I also marked out that the price did start buying from that point, and then the target was still remaining to be exactly the 61.8 extension price from gold. So we're still looking at price pushing back to those areas. But now, another interesting factor now here in this part is actually the what we are here for is the following. We're not here for gold specifically, because here is just talking about what's going on gold, nothing less, nothing more. I just want us to jump onto something very, very, very interesting, which is what I am here for, which is Euro USD. Who is it? Just wait. Who is it? So moving along, right, now let's take a look at Euro USD, because that's what we are here for, or rather that's why I'm here. I want us to just look at Euro USD as we actually spoke about it in the morning. Euro USD, if you go and watch the previous stream, right, if you go and watch the previous stream, not this Euro USD, I want you to go and watch the previous stream when you have the time, as to understand the price movement that we're looking at right now on Euro USD. You will definitely take a look at what is definitely going on there on Euro USD, which is this part on Euro USD. What's going on? Euro USD. If you go and watch the previous stream, on the previous stream I did mention in the morning, let's just try and do this. I'm just gonna show you something. Let me just do this. I want to show you something, but when you have the time, just go and watch the previous stream. I'm just gonna show you something. When you have the time, I want you to go and watch the previous stream, which was this one. It should have been this one, right? So I'm just gonna take you through the Euro USD when I'm still doing it. So I want you to take a look at what was going on Euro USD in the morning, just to give you a glimpse of what was I looking at, or rather what was actually going on Euro USD, right? Let's give it a second. As you can see right here, right, this was Euro USD before, right? That was Euro USD right before. I was actually just looking at a buys, right? I was looking at buys, but if you can take a look at how Euro USD was looking earlier on in the morning, I did mention that the only time we could actually look for any entries being the continuation of price to the upside was only if price comes and breaks above this point, which you can see we do have a trend line marked up around those areas. But I also did mention that if ever there was any case of any kind on Euro USD, we should be looking at different price areas to actually buy Euro USD, right? So here's another price that I'm just gonna mention, and let me just try. When you have the time, just go and watch this Euro USD so that you can get an idea. There we go. I want you to go and get an idea, or just understand where are we looking at Euro USD at, right? You can see there on Euro USD I did mark out that if there was any possibilities of actually selling first, it could have been at these prices. It means one could have actually waited for the price to break above this area, and then could have actually did what? Could have actually then pushed price back to these areas and then start looking for rejections to the upside, right? This is the stream in the morning. When you have the time, you can go and watch the stream. So right now, take a look at what happened. I want you to see all of those areas that I did mark out in the morning, right? Being the first one being that if price breaks above that, look at that sell. I just want you to look at it. This is the first sell that occurred. This is the sell that occurred in the morning, which is from which one? Which is from this one. Do you see that each and every price that I did mention or mark up, I did mention to say this is what one could have done if this was in the morning, by the way. This was in the morning. this was in the morning, so I just want you to see the price straight, ne? This was in the morning. Do you see that in the morning, the very same price area that I did mark out to say if it breaks above, then you sell towards the area below, and then once it breaks below, then you do what? You buy from below. And what happened? Price did exactly that. And even when we look at the conditions that I usually use in terms of confirmations and everything, they did happen. We do have a confirmation that I could have actually done what? Definitely looked at that area. And then what else happened again? And also this part do have a confirmation, but then the confirmations come from a smaller time frame, which is 3 minutes. So currently, even on Euro USD, right? Currently, even on Euro USD, being that this could have been, not even could have been, so this is definitely the first. This is the first confirmation 3 minutes time frame. Under 15 minutes time frame, we don't necessarily have it, meaning that the only confirmation that you have is from this area as a confirmation of a buy to the upside on Euro USD. And I'm still